The story of the relationship between Achilles and Patroclus is one of the most fascinating and complex in Greek mythology. These two warriors, whose lives and destinies were deeply intertwined, represent one of the most iconic and emotional partnerships in classical literature. Their friendship, legendary and intense, transcends the confines of the battlefield and reveals much about the nature of love, loyalty, and sacrifice. Achilles, the greatest Greek hero of the Trojan War, was a demigod, the son of the nymph Thetis and the mortal Peleus. His strength and combat skills were legendary, and his bravery on the battlefield was unparalleled. Patroclus, on the other hand, was an exiled young prince who found refuge in Achilles' home and became his inseparable companion. Together, they formed an invincible duo, complementing each other in skills and personalities. The bond between Achilles and Patroclus was much more than a simple friendship. They shared a deep, almost fraternal connection that went beyond common ties. Some scholars believe their relationship had nuances of romantic love, although this interpretation is debated. What is certain is that they were soulmates, united by a bond that transcended the physical plane. Together, they faced the challenges and dangers of the Trojan War, fighting side by side with bravery and loyalty. Achilles, with his strength and skill, and Patroclus, with his wit and unconditional support, formed an unbeatable team. Their feats in combat became legendary, and their friendship grew even stronger as they faced the horrors of war. However, fate reserved a tragic end for this legendary partnership. During one of the battles, Patroclus, dressed in Achilles' armor, was killed by Hector, the greatest Trojan warrior. The news of his friend's death devastated Achilles, who plunged into deep mourning and a thirst for vengeance. His anger and pain were so intense that he embarked on a journey of retaliation, determined to avenge Patroclus' death. The scene of the encounter between Achilles and Patroclus' lifeless body is one of the most emotional and moving in the Iliad. Achilles, in an act of profound love and desperation, embraces his friend's body, mourning his loss and vowing revenge. This evocative image reminds us of how powerful and enduring the bond between two individuals can be, even in the face of tragedy. Patroclus' death had a devastating impact on Achilles, who found himself plunged into deep anguish and a thirst for vengeance. His fury and pain turned into an uncontrollable impulse, leading him to face Hector in an epic combat. Achilles, driven by his rage and the desire to honor his friend's memory, fought with unprecedented ferocity until he finally managed to kill Hector. However, the victory over the Trojan warrior did not bring Achilles the relief he had hoped for. Patroclus' death had left a deep wound in his heart, and he found himself tormented by guilt and remorse. After all, it was his decision to allow Patroclus to fight in his place that led to his death. This guilt became a heavy burden that Achilles would carry for the rest of his life. The relationship between Achilles and Patroclus transcended the limits of simple friendship, becoming one of the deepest and most moving partnerships in Greek mythology. Their connection went beyond the battlefield, reflecting a union of souls that defied the social conventions of the time. Together, they faced the horrors of war, sharing moments of glory and tragedy. Patroclus' death was a devastating blow to Achilles, who found himself plunged into unbearable pain. His thirst for vengeance led him to commit acts of extreme cruelty, such as dragging Hector's body behind his chariot. This attitude, though understandable given his anguish, reveals how deep the bond that united him to Patroclus was. Even after Patroclus' death, his presence continued to haunt Achilles. In dreams and visions, his friend's spirit haunted him, begging for funeral honors and a proper burial. This spiritual connection between the two warriors demonstrates how strong and enduring their bond was, even beyond life. At the end of the Trojan War, Achilles also met his own tragic end, killed by a poisoned arrow shot by Paris. Some say that at the moment of his death, Achilles was finally reunited with Patroclus in the afterlife, where they could enjoy an eternity of companionship and camaraderie. This idea of an eternal union between the two friends is one of the most beautiful and moving in Greek mythology. I hope you enjoyed this incredible story. We're eager to hear what you thought about the topic of this video, so don't hesitate to share your opinions and ideas in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Here, we always dive into epic stories, fascinating curiosities, and much more. And to make sure you don't miss our upcoming videos, hit the notification bell. See you next time, and thanks for watching.